We are the Deckards. This is my beautiful wife, Stephanie. My name is Michael, and we're being called to Freeway Ministries down in Fort Worth, Texas. Through Freeway Ministries, he used that in a mighty way, not just to reach us, but to reach us and then bring us together. I was lost. I was broken. I had ran for 22 years, chasing methamphetamines, chasing everything that was of the world, making everything of the world my idol, in and out of jail over 20, 25 times until one day I just had enough. And I knew that God had something for me. I always knew God was real. I grew up in the church, Church wasn't foreign to me. I just went down a wrong path, a very dark path for a very long time. When I finally turned to him and said, God, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how this is working out. I don't know why I'm trusting in everything but you. But I'm looking for you for help. What do you have for me? He immediately started putting things in my path. Freeway Ministries, they came to me. Andrew Wilson, my Freeway director, came to me and said, are you done running? Are you ready to start serving Jesus? And I said, yeah, I am. Through coming to Freeway, I've learned to step out of my comfort zone. I have learned that it's not all about me at all, and that my duty as a Christian is now to pour into others and to take up my cross daily and follow Jesus. I found out that God had a calling on my life, and it was to preach the gospel unapologetically. I still get nervous. I still get, apprehensive, and that's okay, because I feel like if I get up there and I preach and I don't get nervous and I make it all about me, then I'm doing it for the wrong reason. The Lord has restored through Freeway Ministries my relationship with my family, with my mother, 4 children that I neglected for over 20 years. I preach every third Friday at Freeway West, doing all these things that God, called me to do that I didn't know he called me to do a long time ago, but little by little stepping into each day with his grace and mercy and love. And he's transformed me and continues to transform me into the person that I am today.
I too came from a background of brokenness, addiction, in and out of jail and prison. And I had 3 kids. That didn't stop the addiction. I lost a sister to addiction. That wasn't a wake-up call for me. I had lost myself. I was broken, had no hope, complete and utter despair, wound up homeless down by some railroad tracks, and was living in this makeshift hut, a place I had never imagined myself being. And I gave my life to the Lord that day, and I never looked back. I've been all in for Jesus. I've got a calling on my life. I got plugged into Freeway. I loved Freeway. I did not go through Freeway. They surrounded me. It was the love of Christ. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I was there. I was showing up to everything. I was serving. Anytime the doors were open, that's where I was at. I was told just to mimic someone that you see walking in the Spirit, just mimic everything they're doing. And I did that. And today we're both able to disciple and pour into other people. And that's ultimately what it's about.
Of course, we were asked to go down to Texas. We were asked, not to say yes immediately, to pray on it. But when we took a trip to Texas, like a vision trip, and Pastor John down there took us on a trip, and another member of the church, Blaine, took us down to downtown Fort Worth. And I remember coming around a corner, and they told us, be prepared for what you're about to see. And there were just people just lined up corner to corner around this block, and tents and people waiting to get in somewhere, and just the despair and the hopelessness and the brokenness in their eyes, and just how they held themselves and walked. You could tell that they were just stuck in this pattern of, we're going to do this day. This is my accomplishment, to get my meds, to get my fix, or to get this meal. And then tomorrow we just start back over. It drove us to just want to do something. There is a big need down in the Fort Worth area. There's about 1.8 million people in Fort Worth, Texas. And there's a large homelessness and addictive community, and which every community in America has. Every community in the world's got a drug problem, addiction problem of some kind. But we are being called to Fort Worth. I believe God set certain things up here in Springfield with our living situation, with things, little small things that he just kept saying and nudging. Now I'm closing this door, but I'm opening this one. But now I'm going to close this one. And he's calling us to be obedient to that and to step out in faith. And this is, we talk about this. This is not just a step. It's a giant leap of faith, trusting that God's going to provide for us, and not just provide for us, but help us to drive the need for these people who don't have any idea who Jesus is. And so that is our mission. That's what we're doing. That's what we're called to do. And with God's provision and faith, we will do that. We hope that you guys follow our journey. You join us in prayer, join us in giving if you can. So just pray for us if you would, and pray for those down in Texas. Pray for people to come alongside us, to help us, and to reach the hard to reach with the gospel of Jesus Christ, one broken life at a time.